And yes, we are live and welcome to Tuesday Live. If you can see me, you can hear me. Let me see your comment in the comment section telling me that you can see and hear me. Today, we are talking about dealing with parenting pressures of our time. What are those parenting pressures that you have and all of the things that you need to do and all of that. Today, we're going to be talking about that. All right. And we're going to, briefly be also looking at how you can also deal with them and work it out. One of the first, today's parenting brings unique challenges, a lot of pressures ranging from work-life balance, family life, complexity of social media technology, and all what you have. Now, number one pressure that you have. If you can see me, you can hear me. Let me see your comment in the comment section. Hi. Hi, you hear me? Hi, Marybeth. Hi, Freedom. The first person who came here was Amy Great. It was so good seeing you. Okay. I can see quite a number of us coming in. The first pressure we're looking at today is a pressure to be perfect. Somebody help me write in the comment section. The overwhelming expectation to be a perfect parent. There is this expectation, how you need to do things, what you need to do, perfection. People need to see you a certain way, and all of that. They need to provide a flawless environment and also have children who excel in every area. So while I was writing my book, one of my latest books that is going to be up for pre-order in few weeks, is called Raising the Trophy Child. His congratulations, celebrations, and his challenges. And one of the things I chronicled in that book is that the trophy child is no longer the child who actually performs. The trophy child is now the modern day child. Hello, mom. And my mom is here. He's now the modern day child. Hi, Sandra. Now, many of the times you find out that this modern day child is now beginning to become a challenge. So when we talk about the trophy child, we are talking about the modern day child. We are talking about that child that is a today's child. That child that is overshadowed. That child that their parents want them to perform wonders. That child that the parents want them to perform magic. Now, this pressure can lead to burnout, can lead to stress, and there is also the place where it leads to feelings of inadequacy. It can also set unrealistic expectations on your children, where children fail, and it's always that parents actually make it look very devastating that a child failed. And it looks like this. Your child is in that school. You mean that in that school that they don't make all A's? In the school my children are, it's all A's or nothing. That's how the pressure looks like. Subtle but there. It looks like your child misbehaves at the airport. The other day I was at the airport and I found out that a child was throwing a tantrum. So the parent was so agitated and everybody was trying to actually blame her. And now, instead of actually helping this woman out or this young lady, everybody was trying to claim how, if it were their child, what they would have done to their child. So all the conversation and the side comments were, my child will never try this kind of nonsense. Why is she leaving the child to do this rubbish? This can never happen to my child. Nobody offered a helping hand. Nobody told her what she should do instead. I walked up to her and I said, it's okay that your child is throwing a tantrum. Do not feel guilty about it. And, she looked at me and said, who are you? And I took the child from her. She was confused. And everybody was like, if it's me, I'll beat the child silly. If it's me, look at that's how they are spoiling children of this place. Every mouth was, because they expect you to be perfect. Unfortunately, Nobody is ever perfect. And before you even say that, oh, it is, these things that we're saying, it's in our time, people are now careless. That's not true. This perfection thing has always been there. Our parents expected us to be perfect. Our parents expected us to actually do things in a certain way, in a way that we shouldn't do it, or in a kind of perfect way that is not what it should be. So there was a perfection that actually reeled everywhere, right? There was a perfection that, happened that shouldn't, happen, unfortunately. So it became that all of these things were the real challenge. Sorry, give me 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am. Hello?
All right, so sorry about that. I needed to work on something. All right. So, this perfection, it's everywhere. There is, this issue, everybody feeling that everybody, is going to be perfect. And then we also had parents who expected us to be perfect. So we've always carried this mentality that there is a perfection. In fact, our parents raised us in such a way that there was an infallibility narrative that parenting needed to have. And our parents projected infallibility. So that's why all our parents came first, you see. So there was this pressure. This pressure to be perfect has always been there. So all our parents came first. They were never last. Everything about them were perfect. And all of the things that happened to them. So it's very important that we begin to actually look at this and understand that these pressures are real. These pressures are real. So one thing is very, constant. You can never have a perfect child. It is very, very impossible to have a perfect child. So all of us want to have a perfect child, but you can't. And that's why when I wrote that book, The Trophy Child, I was talking about the pressure we are putting in, right? To become, to now become those people that the society in quotes want us to become. Somebody said, if they all came first, so who now came last? Very, very many of the time, it's that we all, that we all came first is a perfectionist thing. So they are no longer saying that they all came first. Sorry, right? Right now, we're no longer saying we all came first, but we're now saying we have the best children, we have the best system, And when people make mistakes, we look at them like, if it's me, I'm going to kill that child. I'm going to do this to that child. That's the perfectionist system. All right? So it's important that we actually step back and ensure that we are actually doing what is right. How do we now begin to manage this system that we're talking about? How do we now begin to manage it? You need to embrace the idea that there is no perfect parent. So, people come to me and say, oh, the intentional parenting that you're teaching, are you saying that people will need to be perfect? The answer is no. People are not going to be perfect. People are not going to be perfect. Intentional parenting is not about the perfection, it's about the process. So the question you want to ask is, what is the process? What is the process that we are dealing with at the moment. What is the process? So our process is what is most important. Our process is what is most important, not just the, our parents made emphasis on results. Our parents made too much emphasis on results. So we got focused and carried away by, oh, if you're not first, you are not doing it, you are not supposed to. So that's one of the problems that we have. So there is no perfect parent. So what we're teaching is not perfection. No, we're not telling you that, oh, if you're not perfect, oh, you need to be perfect, your children need to be perfect. Somebody actually said, now there are all these things, all this intentional parenting. Oh, I've seen some of the children. It's not like they are even perfect. No, they are not supposed to be perfect. So if you start the journey, and when your children make mistakes, you just say, hey, if it's the other person. That's why many of us are parenting the children we don't have. I usually tell inner circle parents, parent the child you have, not the one you wish to have, not the one you want to have, not the one you are thinking to have. If you are looking for perfection, that's why you are wishing that your kinesthetic learner is in one place all the time. Because you have seen your neighbor's child, whose child is quiet. Can't you just be, look at these people, can't you just be as quiet as I am? And like Coach Ebuka will say, quietness is not the fruit of the spirit. So no, you can't have a perfect child. So stop projecting perfection. Stop fighting when you cannot see the result the way you want. There's a particular picture, for us, there's a particular picture you have built in your head. Once the child is not meeting that picture, you have a problem. All right? So the child is not supposed to meet a particular picture. Your child is just supposed to be intentionally created to get to the point. So again, you must learn to parent the child you have, not the one you wish to have, not the one you pray to have, not the one you want to have. That's where the pressure of perfection comes in. That's where the pressure of perfection comes. The moment you begin to tell yourself, I wish that my child is like this. Oh, I wish it actually takes you to the point where you begin to project that kind of perfection and it makes a mess. So you're not competing. You are not competing. You are actually working out. You're on a journey. So the child you have is a key aspect of that journey. The child you have is a key aspect of that journey. So today, I want you to write in the comment section, I will parent the child I have, not the one I wish to have, not the one I pray to have. The one at the moment I can see is the child I want to parent now. Does that make sense to anybody today? So that's one of the ways to beat this pressure. So when you see someone else say, oh, my child is like this, if it's my child will say, you tell the person, that is your child, come here. That is your child. You tell the person, that is your child. That's not my child. Remember, the person you are parenting is the one you have. So it kills the comparison. Does it mean that you will not see a child and admire that the child is doing the right thing? That's not what we're talking about. It means that you are looking at your own journey first and not being accusatory and not being, looking out for what is not there and not comparing children unnecessarily. This is so key. So we must all learn to parent the child we have. Number two, This is the first battle, the pressure of a perfect child. That's our very first battle, the pressure of a perfect child. And this is something that is very important that you note. And that's why that book is a key aspect of your journey. Please give me a minute. So sorry about that. All right. So that's one thing that you must deal with. You must parent the child that you have. You must parent the child that you have. Number two, information overload. Information overload is the number two pressure we are dealing with in this time. What does it look like? Yeah, there's too many parenting advice. Blogs, so you are on this social media, or you are in 1,000,001 groups. Why are you in 1,000,001 groups? Why are you in 1,001 groups? Why are you in 1,000,001 groups? Why are you everywhere? Why do you have information? So you are confused. Today, somebody told me, hey, there's one parenting group I joined. Hey, the person was teaching that if you beat children, that's how it is. But I've heard you say beating children, you'll be confused now. You're everywhere. You are on Google. See, there's so much on Google that the message is not streamlined. The message is not streamlined. The message is not coordinated. There's too much uncoordination of message, which is the real issue that we are having. So there's so much happening. There's too much uncoordination. There's too much, going on. So you are everywhere. You are even sometimes you read some things, you're tired. That's why you cannot parent in this time without having a system of parenting you belong to. If not, you'll be confused. You'll be confused. Everybody is offering different kind of conflicting suggestions. Everybody is saying different things at the same time. Everybody is giving every information. So information overload. So there's no focus. There's no, the truth is that if you actually are discerning, you will know where to stay. This is very important. Many of us are not as discerning enough. So, of course, we are constantly running. Let me go and Google it. The other day, somebody said that I started in ChatGPT. They said that there's nothing wrong with being gay. I said, what do you expect you're going to hear? The founder is gay. What are you going to expect to hear? Some things that we just say. Like how you said, I thought I'll get relevant information. You will get information, and information is not wisdom. Information is not wisdom. There's a lot of unverified things flying everywhere. There are a lot of groups. I see some people, you are in 1,000,001 group, WhatsApp group, parenting group here, parenting group there. We're not saying that you should not be parenting. We're not saying you should not go and Google, but we're saying that you should streamline the information that is coming to you. Information can destroy you. Information can destroy you as much as it can make you. As much as it can make you. So all this, hey, I went on Google. Hey, I found the thing. You will just get confused. Today, you are there. Today, you are not there. So information is not wisdom. One of the things that we teach in the academy is that you actually are able to get the right kind of knowledge, turn it into implementable systems and it becomes wisdom. Your children are not looking for information, by the way, because information is everywhere. Your children are looking for wisdom. The question will be, do you have wisdom to deliver? So you're scrambling and scratching for information everywhere, but there is the place of wisdom that your children are looking for. Information is everywhere. That thing you're teaching them that you got from ChatGPT, they can find it. So what more can you give? That's where wisdom comes to play. How do you manage this? So too much information can actually lead to confusion, lead to, too much scattered information makes it difficult to even look at your journey. Look at your journey. And so you just go on Google. This person will say it's just like when you want, I was doing a research when I was writing my book, Sex Educate Your Child, Volume 4. And I found that on the whole line of the research system, the teachings of sex conversation have now moved from what we used to know it to what it is now that the world wants us to know. So if you are that parent who is just saying to yourself, you know what, I will just go on Google, find out what they are saying, and then teach my children, then you'll be lost. So there is wisdom. Your children are looking for it. Can you give it? That's the conversation we're having today. How do you manage it? Discernment. See, you must be discerning as a parent. You must be discerning as a parent. And let me say this, thank you, Ebele. Too much scattered information makes your journey, parenting journey, even difficult. Too much scattered information will make your parenting journey even more difficult. So you're there. Today you gathered from here. Hey, you gathered from there. It will even lead to confusion and you will start doubting. Even the right things you knew, you begin to doubt them. Because the information is conflicting, is disoriented. You're there, different thoughts. So how do you manage it? You need to filter the information you receive. Filter it. You need to focus on trusted sources that align with the truth. And the truth is not free. I keep saying it. We're reading about the Alice Bailey's agenda earlier on, and it is an agenda that we're all living today. The truth of the matter is that you must be discerning. They come to tell us, take this one free, take this one, free. It's the truth. He said, buy the truth and sell it not. The truth isn't free. So we get trapped. We get trapped in all of the things we're saying. You don't know who is even saying it. Somebody sent something to me. One of those days, and say, what do you think? I think who said it? She said she doesn't really know. She just saw it online. That's the problem. What people say is actually about who also that they are. And every thought you actually see online is a human thought. It's not the thought of God, in quotes. But we've made Google the thought of God. So for us, Google is the thought of God. Google is the mind of God. We even Google Bible interpretations. So we want to Google revelations. Somebody told me that that she was going to do, that pastors can do ministrations that that he would just go to ChatGPT and say, explain this to me. And I said, well, I do not have a problem with all of that. But I have a problem with us missing the place of revelation. Missing the place of revelation for just knowledge. So if you have discernment, it will help you to filter the things you hear. But if you are constantly hearing the voice of everybody, You won't have a filter. Discernment, right? Discernment is a key aspect of knowing which way to go. But if you are in the business of the big gang of 1,000, chats in WhatsApp, you are in the gang of, you are a million people in one place. If you are in that place, you can't discern. So I started to ask, at what point do you now gain revelation? If you need to actually begin to, you say, I saw it on Google. Google is not a final thought. I keep saying it. In fact, it's my son that says it. He said Google is human mind. It is. So where is the place that you are able to understand that which part, which human mind do I follow? Which path does God want me to follow? God is always going to direct you to that person who is speaking the truth that you need at time. So you must discern. And God will send you help through human beings. But you must discern the help that's been sent to you. So that means as a parent, you must build your spiritual, tentacles. Because in this time, the information that is available makes your spiritual tentacles it dampens it. It dampens it. So if you're able to actually think it, right? You don't be cloud so that God will be able to even meet you and tell you this is it, this is it. But if you are everywhere, like it was at the team that said at the Lagos Summit, if you are not at rest, you can't stand. So rest. So anytime that you're going through an information, you must have your spiritual tentacles. You must have your spiritual tentacles open. So let's move away from this. I call it the Indomie knowledge. I'll just go on Google, I just pick what and just say it. There's a place to also create because of the God factor. So it's that God factor, it's that revelation that puts you in the place. The Bible says, I will send pastors, I will send you teachers. So the prayer should be, who is my teacher? The prayer. So if you are here, you are there. Everywhere they say parenting meeting, you are inside. Everywhere you confuse yourself. So the first thing you want to even do is that, do I even know who I'm parenting? Any right teacher will take you towards you understanding yourself, understanding your child, and understanding your process. The moment you are able to do these three things, you will find the right system you must be in. You need to first of all, find it. So that's one issue, pressure that we're having with our time. Number 3 is keeping up with technology. This is what it looks like. You're constantly monitoring and managing your child's use of smartphone, social media, video game, the internet. It's a lot of pressure. Parents are overwhelmed. Parents are overwhelmed. Parents are, the potential danger, screen addiction, inappropriate content, So it is important that we begin to actually look at this media. That's why when you come into the inner circle, one of the first things you learn is how to create a media plan in your home. Many of us don't understand why. You are going to be under undue pressure if you do not have a plan for your media. What plan do you have? If you don't have a plan for media, the media will control you. What's the plan? What's the plan for media? Or you just wake up Everybody wakes up in the morning, everybody just, continues their way, just does their things and all of that. Is that how it works? What do you guys do? Now we're dealing with screen addiction. That's what we're dealing with now. We don't even know what that is. We don't even know what it is. A lot of parents are struggling with their children because they were introduced to screen and they were battling with screen. In fact, if you don't have a media plan as a parent, the media will use you. It's either the media, you are using the media, or the media is using you. And I can tell you for free, more than 80% of parents have the media using them. In that 10-point agenda of Alice Bailey, he said, use the media to propagate the agenda. So the media is using you, not the other way around. Because there's no direction. There's no direction. So you want to begin to ask yourself, how do I manage technology? So number 3 is keeping up with technology, not screen addiction. Because under technology, keeping up what is raining, what's happening, and all of that. How do I begin to manage it? You need to understand the digital world and set boundaries. Set boundaries. Some of us, our children, do not have any form of boundary at all. So the media is so that's why you wake up in the morning, your TV is on from morning till night. I've never been able to understand it at all. Because you have DSTV. So you wake up in the morning, your TV is on. There's some homes you go to, there's always TV in the background. Why? Most times when I travel, the TV never comes on. And then, what am I saying? I don't get it. So there's no control over media. There's no control. And that's one of the pressures. Now, children are becoming more aggressive because there's no control over media. Parents must learn how to limit media, encourage children to actually talk. Have you noticed? Who else have noticed? You pass a child now, one of the things that you hear is, children don't know how to greet and have conversations. Who have noticed it? Most children don't. A child passes you, he's greeting, you hardly hear what they're saying. You hardly hear what they're saying. And you're wondering, the child did not greet me. The child did not. He said, but he has greeted. When you call the child back, say, I greeted you. But you never actually hear anything the child says. Why? Because our children are no longer, we're not actually killing up our children. We're not. The other day I saw a media information where the boy killed the sister. What's all that? Media. In fact, we even have an increased sibling rivalry because of the media. A friend was telling me a story of how one particular soap opera the children had, it was on siblings and siblings fighting. And that escalated, it turned into a mess in their house. So every time you just get to a point where you need to actually ask yourself, is the media using me or am I using it? And when I talk about media, I talk about social media, I talk about TV, I talk about all of the media that is around you, games. We're having a conversation with a family member, and he was talking about how a son cannot pass exams, write exams in school because he's addicted to games. He's addicted to games. Thank you, Cheryl Christie, for saying that. My own children does that. So it's something that we need to pay attention to. Because the screen has taken away so much. when you look at it, you just find out that our social life is dying, our conversational life is dying. All we are doing is that we are just, being in the space where we're just moving, and technology is taking away everything. Now we now have children who are so addicted to the screen that it has now caused screen autism. Is that where we want to be? So we need to stand up and do something better. So keeping up with technology is another issue. Now, of course, every one of us, all our children, once they turn 13, one of the first things that they get is a phone. I've never been able to understand. People have asked me, what age is the appropriate age for children to get a phone? I don't understand what a 13-year-old, I have 14-year-olds. I remember saying it to a family friend many years ago. My children were less than 8, and her child at 11 had a phone. And I said, my children are not going to have any phone till they are 18. They don't need it. She said, it's because your children are still young. Let's see, by the time they are 10 now, they will get a phone. My children are 14. They don't need a phone. So when people ask me, at what age should a child own a phone? I usually say, even you that own a smartphone, you are not in control. The smartphone is controlling you. So you're in one place, people are talking to you, you're pressing your phone. You're pressing your phone. You're pressing your phone because you are not able to. There's no control. And then you do that, a lot, and your children are, and then even you say, oh, it's because so that they can learn tech. Let me ask you a question. Do you know that there's a difference between being tech savvy and being social media savvy? Most of your children are social media savvy. They're not tech savvy in any way. So all you do is that you have children who know how to twerk on TikTok. They do all the challenges on TikTok. They're on Instagram, they post every day. If you're on Facebook, they are jumping from one block to another. But these same children cannot use Canva. These same children cannot put a PowerPoint. These same children cannot, they can't do anything. And every time I ask, you're raising children that are consuming tech instead of making tech an advantage. So our children are not on social media. They have no business with it. They don't own smartphones. They have no business with it. But they can do PowerPoint. They can create Canvas. They can create, they can use CapCut and create their videos. They can do all of that. They can do all of that. So we now have a generation of TikTok twerkers. And you say, oh, no, is this thing. But your children cannot create a Excel sheet. You said they are learning how to be tech savvy. They can create an Excel sheet. It's interesting that we are in the place of consumption of tech. And then you wonder why somebody was saying, oh, tech giants don't put their children on screens and all of that. Yeah, because you understand that that's not what tech savvy means. So your children are social media savvy. They are not tech savvy. They are not the same. They are not the same. So being social media savvy is one conversation. Being tech savvy is another conversation altogether. So the question I'm going to leave with you today is, are your children social media savvy or they are tech savvy? Since the twins have been 5, they started learning how to create PowerPoint from 5. Now they are PowerPoint gurus. They know how to use Excel. They know how to work out all of this. So they are not just, they don't need social media to become tech savvy. Number 4, there is the pressure of social comparison. The pressure. You compare yourself with your children to others, whether it's your friends, your neighbors, people on social media. I usually tell parents, I say, when I teach you, I'm not teaching you for you to go back and say, coach's children now does. I say, no, that's not what I'm teaching you to go back and tell your children. I'm teaching you to skill them up. That's the only idea. I'm giving you examples. Giving you example. So it's important to look at Sanusi Abisola is saying it. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. That one of the days that my undergraduate students do not know what MS Office or computer program means, but they are all on social media. And will my children be on social media eventually? Yes, they will, but they will be there as using it as an enhancer. Tech is an enhancer of your skill. It's not the skill itself. And that's why we missed it. We missed it. And this is a real challenge. Raise your children, skill them up. The first thing you want to actually do for your children is not to hand them over a gadget. Let's talk about social comparison. And then we will talk about the last one, right? This number 6, number 5. Social comparison. It leads to unnecessary anxiety. Hey, my neighbor's student made all A's. Oh, my children there's no need. How do you manage it? Focus on your family's unique journey and your goals. Celebrate your strengths, your milestones, rather than focusing on what others are doing. I'm always shouting it. There are people that their children have written books. Children are, that's not the line we are called for. My children don't have any books written, and there's no pressure anywhere. Pressure yourself unnecessarily. Is it good to admire the things that have been done? Yes. But you must understand that an intentional parent follows a goal. An unintentional parent follows a crowd. Now that this pause of children just writing book, oh, my child has written books. Now it's like a bragging right for parents. It's like a bragging right. So we all brag, oh no, my child wrote book at 10. I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I'm saying that the pressure is unnecessary. Give your child, if that is the line that your family is doing, why not if not? But if that is not, please focus on what your family is called. That's why in the inner circle, when you come in, the first thing that you learn is how to create a goal dynamic to your. If you're not registered in the inner circle, you're on your own. No? As in the whole system will just swallow you up. Because there's no system created to actually help you move from point A to point B and all of that. So the pressure of social comparison will kill you. How do you manage? Focus on your journey. Celebrate your strength. Remember that social media will only show you the result, not the full picture. And one time, I had a parent who was saying that, coach, your children cook well. And when my children cook, everywhere we scattered. I laughed. And I started to share with her that one of the things that I've told inner circle parents, and of course, I say that all the time, is that parenting is in the mess. If you are not ready for the mess, you are not ready to parent. If you are not ready to be the mess, you're not ready for parenting. So all this, hey, your parents are doing this. I want the children to start learning now. They can't learn now. They can't learn now. It has to be a process of mess. When the children started cooking, when they finish cooking, in my mind, I'm like, hey, are you sure that I wouldn't have just done this thing myself? But I understood that without the mess, we're not going to actually make progress. So we endured the mess. So you must be ready. You want your children to be able to iron, be looking like my son has burnt my clothes before. He was 7 when he burnt my clothes. He's part of the mess. Why the 7-year-old boy ironing? Why not? And that's what has made him today. He's 14. He irons like a guru. But he needed to burn some clothes and make some mistakes for him to learn it. Our daughter used to burn a lot of food, make it will look soggy. make it to look, all those your fears is what the problem is. All those your fears. That's what the problem is. You are afraid of the fear, you're afraid of the mess, but it's in the mess that you actually see the glory. So when I share a picture of a finished product, and our daughter had just made abacha, and you go abacha that went to Harvard, and you sit down somewhere in your corner and say, see coach's children, no, see the way they do everything, they come out, see coach doesn't do anything. Do you know how much of the mess that I've made? These are the questions and the conversations you must have. So if there is no mess, forget about the glory we share. So there have been a lot in the background. I'm sure you hear more of those stories, right? If you are in the academy. That's why I always say, do not follow the glitterati of the social world. Because sometimes the process is not in there. The truth, again, is not free. What you see is finished product. Nobody is made by finished product. Everyone is made in the process of the making. Everybody is made in the process of the making. So if you're not ready to key into the process of the making, and all you want to see is, some people even see those things, they say, you have lied. How can a 12-year-old do this? How can a 14-year-old, you are a liar? You're going to continue saying you're a liar because you have not been able to actually look into the process. You have not been able to. So you must engage to make the process. Everyone is made in the process, and the process, of your making is in the process. So that's one key factor that you must understand. So while you are there, comparing how your children, friends' children, they are just perfect. Hey, once they wake up in the morning, they clean their body. You know the work that parent has done. I was with an inner circle parent a few days ago. She runs a hotel and she hosted us, and she was telling how her journey has been. And she said at the beginning, it was a mess. I was thinking that, this thing, where do I start from? But today, it's like, the time children will call and say, she has children in the university. And say, Mommy, just thank you. Oh, hey, she's been in the inner circle for like since 2020 or so. Thank you. What you have done for me. But in this process, it was tough. Your food will burn now. Your clothes will be messed up. Your child. So why are you in a hurry? You want to wake up, and after 1 year, you have one perfect child. Like how? People even ask me, so if I do this course, after 1 year, will everything be perfect? My answer is no. And that's why I keep shouting. I don't do kalo kind of parenting. I don't do parenting by emergency. I do parenting in the process because I understand that if there is no process, then you are not going to have result. When a child has problem, one of the things we do is that we start from the, hey, here's what the child is about, the fundamental. If you consult me, and if you know me, one thing I'm known for is reverse engineering. I always go back to actually think and see reverse engineering. When I do it, I see their faults right in their faces so that you know where you pick it up from. So I'm not giving you any ready-made, magic wand. It's not true. You will see your errors, and if you're ready to walk the journey, then you walk with me. So I'm not into tell me what to do now. I don't answer those kind of things. I don't understand. Tell me what to do now. Just tell me what I can do. They're not ready. And we do that all the time. Nobody should even, when you send me those chats, of course I don't respond. Tell me what it is I can do now. So that once I do it, everything will be okay. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Everything cannot be okay just like that. You don't want to walk the journey. You want to wake up one day, your child is just perfect, lying down there. Just lying down there. Most of us are not interested in committing to a process. How do you want to have the kind of result you're looking for? You just want, Coach Wendy. Some people even come to me and say, Coach Wendy, my child, oh, my children are just behaving badly. Hey, just tell me what to do. I'm tired of this bad behavior. What to do is that you get into the academy and start learning. Even if I tell you, and that's why parent coaches fail. Because many parent coaches gives you the tips and the hacks. And at the end of the day, they keep coming back. They keep coming back. They keep coming back. Because you will come back over and over again because you have not been able to get what is right. And that's why we hit children. We hit children because of this lack of following process. We just want anything fast, fast. No, I just want, what can I do to my child now so that everything that he's doing will end now? There is no magic wand in parenting. There is no sharp parenting. No, it's not. Thank you, Coach Omola. There's no sharp solution. You do the work and you stay. See, when it comes to parenting, you must have staying power. There is a staying power that gives you results. It's not hit and run. No. You do today, tomorrow you are not doing. That's how your result will be. Hey, today, tomorrow. Today, tomorrow. You do the work. You do the work and you stay in the process. It's not it's not no happy and way parenting. You go through the back, you come back to the it's not there. So you must have the staying power that gives you result. That's one of the things that you must ask God for. Staying power. If not, you will do all those hey, fire brigade. Hey, give me now. Give me tomorrow. Once you give me now, everything will be okay. I don't do that. The first thing you do with me is that you consult with me for an hour. I sit with you. I find out where the issues are coming from, and we deal with it decisively. I am not going to tell you 10 things you will do for your children to start fighting. What does that mean? When in the real sense, maybe the fight is because you have created a trophy out of one child and you've created an imbalanced system in your home. How do you think that is going to stop? It will stop because there's a process. So there's no kalu. So don't chat me and tell me I've been listening to you for years. Just tell me something now that will solve the problem. Join the academy. And that's always my answer. Join the academy. This is so key. And then the last one, navigating changing parenting norms. Navigating changing parenting norms. Shifting expectations in parenting rules. You know what it means to raise a successful child? Where we now have modern day parenting that is now more child-centered, with focus on emotional well-being. Of course, everywhere is just, how do we navigate all of these norms? What do we do? Of course, this causes disagreement. This causes, this causes a lot of, scattering all of that place. And then also not even understanding that parenting is changing. What happened, I was still being reminded by clients yesterday when I said that to watch pornography in our time, it was hard. How do you compare your time with this time? That's being, culturally unintelligent. Most of us are culturally unintelligent. Your child does something, in my time. Yeah, Coach Omola, it took Jesus 30 years to enter into the prophecy of the ministry. 30 years. Meanwhile, you want to raise your child now, and the prophecy you heard about him will manifest at age 10. The child is not even 20 yet. You're already jumping up and down and saying, hey, I've lost the child. Relax. Get the right knowledge. There's something knowledge does to you. It settles you. That's one thing I know. It settles you. So the changing parenting norms, things are changing. Parenting is changing. How things were done, it's now becoming different. The things your children are seeing are different. So how do you think that it will be the same kind of parenting you're doing now? So you need to ask yourself, how do I navigate it? How do I navigate it? So it's that navigation. Because if you don't understand, you'll be confused, you will disagree, especially between generations. So you're constantly fighting. Sometimes I see people fighting because you've not understood that you need to navigate the changing parenting systems. You need to navigate it. How do you do this? You know, there are a lot of normalized things that we used to do, like saying to ourselves that sibling rivalry is normal, parent children will fight and they will still be friends. It's normalized nonsense. Hmm. Serious normalized nonsense. Many times we find out that those of us who were left, that our parents didn't intentionally build relationship with us and our children and our siblings, we don't have any. It's normalized nonsense. There are a lot of things that we used to know that we need knowledge. That's the only way to manage it. We need knowledge. You need to stay teachable. You need to stay learnable. You need to stay flexible about what your child needs per time. And the truth of the matter is that many times what your child need now will not be what they need next year. How do you navigate it? How do you know? So changing culture, changing systems, changing everything. Do you know that dealing with sibling rivalry, the way it was dealt with in our time, caused even more sibling rivalry? Now we're saying, come and learn to navigate the system of resolving sibling rivalry. You are there saying, what is it said that they're going to even teach me? I beg. My parents, the way my parents did it. Or you say things, but we turned out okay. Every time I say it, I say, are we really okay? So you must stay teachable, stay learnable, and stay flexible. If there's nothing you heard today, that's one thing you must hear. Stay teachable, stay flexible, stay learnable. Because at the end of the day, these are the things that you will need to actually be able to move and to be able to redefine your process. So it's important, right? It's important that you begin to look at your process and recreate it. Recreate your process. Deal with these pressures of our time, especially the pressure to navigate the systems. Knowledge will give you access to all of these other pressures. So don't just settle. Don't just, fight. Don't tell me that's how you are. That's how they rate me. If you're in that place, break the table. Because it will keep you in a place. It won't teach you. One of the things that you must note is that as you're journeying, things are going to be changing. You are going to be changing. Your children will change. So in those times, what will you do? And that's one way to deal with the pressures of parenting. While people complain and say, the pressure of parenting is too much, some of us are not pressured though. Some of us are not pressured. And I'll be sincere with you. So if you are having issues with your parenting systems, come and learn. Even if you are not having issues, please, it is it is important that you actually start learning what to do before the issues come. Because as soon as the issues come, you are gone. That's when it now becomes fire brigade approach. You are now running kitty, 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 kita, kata, kata. Learn even before the issues show up. And this is why I'm inviting you to still join the sibling rivalry course. If you haven't registered, register now. The course is on the 9th of October. The link is in bio. So if you're not also register for the Inner Circle program, you want to register now. Remember also, we're coming to Benin. So Benin Yadas and everybody in Benin and the virus, let's start spreading the news and creating a system for the TIP Summit Benin. This is where I end this class today. Thank you for joining me. See you again at 8 a.m. My name is Wendy Ologe, and I'm the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. I look forward to having you in the course Resolving Sibling Rivalry. We're teaching you new ways. We're teaching you how to navigate the parenting pressures that we have today and the things that we need to do. Have an amazing day, and I hope this was good and resourceful for you.
Every time you just be disturbing someone, I don't even know where we are sitting. Stop calling my line, you're disturbing me. If you ever call me again, I'm going to block your line.
That is what you get when you say words like they will outgrow it when children fight.
People don't just outgrow certain habits. Instead, it evolves into a norm, which could eventually break the family bond.
Are you tired of constant battles between your children? Ever wondered what it would be like to see your children as best friends, not rival? It is possible, and it can start today. The Intentional Parent Academy can help you turn your home from war zone into a place filled with love, respect, and harmony.
Our course, Dealing with Sibling Rivalry, offers practical strategy to reduce tension, improve communication, and strengthen bond between your children while restoring peace in your home.
You will learn why siblings rivalry happens, how to prevent it, and the best way to teach your children conflict resolution skills that will last you a lifetime.
It will begin running from the 9th to 11th October, so send a chat to the number on your screen to register now for just 10,500 naira only, and give your children the tools they need to thrive together.